Actually use the web. How to close the digital divide?
Sorry?
Only a quarter of the planet actually use the web. How to close the digital divide? Big question.
Well, a lot of the solution is in mobile. So in a way, the mobile web is spreading very, very quickly. So it'll soon, this number of 75% of people not using is shrinking. It's now maybe it's up quite a lot smaller, and this is due to largely mobile web in developing countries. What's important there, of course, is keeping the cost of data down, so that when you have a data planned, or firstly giving everybody data, some form of data with every phone plan, and making low bandwidth data really cheap, so that get more people on board, more people learning to use the web. And of course, the cost of mobile devices, which have web browsers, smartphones, is coming down. And as soon as that comes down, then that will just enable many more people to get on board.
The online world needs to become more open. What do we want from open government?
We need, I suppose, first, the easy thing is data, which is about the way that the government works. If you're working for a government department and you have a database about which roads need fixing or when the trains run, then it's just useful to the community to put it online. So put those things online. Basically, any data which is being collected using taxpayers, using the taxpayers' money, should be made available to taxpayers. So online, putting things online early. Then, of course, that will allow us, in some cases, that will allow people. In some cases, it's useful to crowdsource the changes to the government. To the data, so that the errors in it can be fixed by people logging in and putting it right. So sometimes this means that government processes which would cost money then done for free by the population. And in general, opening up all the processes like getting a registration for your car to be online if they're not online already.
Super fast broadband, is it really necessary?
I think I'm of two minds about that. I think if you're installing in a developed country, if you're installing internet, it's a waste of time to put in low speed, because fiber is a more investment, but on the other hand, it's much better for the future. So I think what's happening in Trento is, for example, is great. On the other hand, if you're in a developing country and there is no infrastructure, then low bandwidth data is quite valuable. It allows you to get text email, it allows you to visit the textual websites, it allows you to get medical information, so that allows you to maybe find a job. It allows you, for example, to have a job, so that there's that when you don't have super fast broadband, still access to data is important.
The web is dead, said Wired some years ago. Do the app or semi-closed platforms such as Facebook kill the web open web? That's
a lot of people are worried about that, about information going onto apps where there's no URLs. So the solution is to make web apps, and web apps are getting more powerful. So you can make something where you go to a website, you can put a link to the website on your phone, so that it looks like an app. For example, the Financial Times in the UK did this. When you go to the Financial Times website on the phone, it then loads the newspaper onto your phone, just like an app, so that you can read it offline. So things like offline reading is available now to web apps. Also being able to use the camera on your phone to have web conferences and things. So I think Wired did well to raise the alarm there, and WCC, the Web Consortium, is working hard now to make the open web platform a really powerful platform which will keep that information on the web.
The web has changed the face of commerce, human interaction. Do you consider the web finished? No.
Okay, no, I don't. The web is certainly not finished.
How do you imagine the future?
So things I want to see, as I mentioned in the talk, in the future I want to see it as a much more powerful collaborative platform. I want to see it as a place where we can trade ideas much more easily. I want to see it used much more powerfully for politics, so that the politics becomes more sane and more effective and more fair. So there are a lot of new systems we need to build before we really exploit the potential of the web. The web of data, of course, is relatively new. It's not just online data, it's scientific data as well, medical data, pharmaceutical data, data about the state of the planet, climate change, all that is in its infancy.
There are many search engines in the space. Currently, Google is dominating. We have two new Italian searchers, Estelle and Quag. Will everyone have a chance? What are the risk factors?
I'm not going to discuss individual companies. Sorry.
Lots of people are putting lots of information about themselves on sites like Facebook. Should users demand to get their data back from internet giants like Facebook, Twitter, Google?
Yeah. Certainly, when you put a lot of information into a big social networking site, then you should be able to get it back, and you should make sure that there is a way of being able to benefit from that data yourself. In a way, the data is of some interest to the social networking site, but it's a lot more interest to you. Who is more interested in data about you than you? You can use your data about yourself, for example, for health, just for remembering what your life was like, for sharing some of that with your family and friends. But it becomes more interesting when you take data from each different aspect of your life and combine it together. Your financial data from a bank, your health data from a health organization, from a hospital, and so on.
What's the next big thing on the web? Mobile?
Mobile is currently a really important wave. If you like, it's the current big thing. And it's going to be really important in developing countries such as Africa, also for the poor in general, rural and urban poor, even in developed countries.
That's it. The last question, we have talked about smart city. What's the ideal smart city? You don't want to talk about the future, but if you have to imagine a smart city, it will be?
I suppose it's a city which is very instrumented. It has a lot of sensors all over it, so that the people who live in the city and the systems in the city are very aware of the current. They know where the buses are, they know where the holes in the road are, they know what the weather is like and the humidity and the temperature. And very importantly, obviously energy management is very much more efficient, and also it's very much more automated, so that you can save energy by turning off the heating in your apartment, and then you can tell, or with your car, when you get in your car to drive home, then the moment you say, oh, we're going home, your car can tell the house can say, oh yes, I better get warm. And then so as you most efficiently, without the city starts to think for you, and at the same time saves a lot of energy.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.